Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Dugout Mug Studios. This is the Variety Sports Network, and this is the 7th inning stretch.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to work here. We got the map in the background. I'm fired up because of that pick, Edwards. There, I got that. We're motivated here. We had a week off. We needed to refresh. We needed a little breather. Me and Josh
look better than ever.
Yes, thank you, Pat Riley. We got that. We're ready to go more than ever here with it. I got, like I said, 2 weeks off. I'm ready. I'm ready to go with our topics that we have on the store for you tonight. Hopefully, we'll get Jordan in here as well. Of course, you see Tyler McGurk below as well. Josh Edwards, let's start with you. As always, my friend, it's been 14 days, far too long. How we doing, Fred?
Too long, man. I feel like we missed out on stuff, but then there wasn't any really super big news, so that let us prep for a really fun show tonight. So I'm kind of excited, man. I'm happy to be back on the air. Tyler's here. Jordan's going to show up at some point. It's going to be some good conversation tonight.
McGurk, what's up, man? Glad you could join us.
I'm doing good other than this little Dodger logo on the bottom left of the little map that I have to stare at all until Jordan gets here. But baseball is kicking into the summer. We're getting hot. It's getting good. And I'm excited for this halfway point of baseball.
Well, be sure to subscribe to Variety Sports Network along the way there. 7th inning stretch. We're happy to be with you. We got a couple people tuning in early. We got Aaron. I returned. Stanley Cup Finals, it looks like. It's going to go down to the state of Florida. It looks like down there with it. JD Martinez, professional hitter. We'll get into that in here in a minute. Jim is here. Jim, appreciate you tuning in as well. Get Jordan on here in a little bit. Be sure to follow at the bottom. I got ticker stuff I've been working on all couple of weeks here, so you'll see some quotes of the week, MLB scoreboard updates, top prospects being called up, injuries. So just be sure to look down there below as we get going here. Gentlemen, 7th inning stretch. Let's get to where the bread's buttered with it. I was thinking, all right, best off-season moves paying off so far. Like, all right, so like at the beginning of the year, right, like March, we're always do all the things. Best off-season moves. Where are we going to go? How's this going to play out? Where's it? Okay, so how is it actually looking now? And some of the names you're probably not expecting. You know what I mean? Like you look at the Braves, especially. You got Sale and Lopez. Lopez again was spectacular today. They get him from the White Sox when he was a reliever the last 3 years. I think we all had a decent feeling about Sale. I mean, those are the two guys that jump out to me. But then we have our guys like your obvious ones like Soto and Ohtani. But I was kind of trying to think a little bit more in the weeds here a little bit, and even Dylan Cease a little bit here picking up with the Padres. Josh, best off-season moves paying off so far. Anything jump out to you with that?
I mean, I think the obvious one that we all know is Shota Imanaga. I mean, the dude has been lethal. In my opinion, right now, he's better than Yamamoto, and Yamamoto got paid. So Chicago, Cubbies, in my opinion, best deal of the offseason.
Yeah.
Value-wise. I mean, what they're paying him for what they're getting out of him is ridiculous. And he is easily the best pitcher right now in the NL. I'm going to be disappointed when he gets Rookie of the Year because he's like, I don't know, 28, 29, 30. He's played a lot of ball before already. So I think the MLB needs to make that distinction where if you're a rookie, you need to be like 26 or younger. I think that's only fair, especially if you come internationally and you play in another league. But
his ERA is under 2 right now still.
He's been ruthless, absolutely ruthless, amazing, and it kills me as a Cardinals guy, but he's been awesome. Feed from Chai.
Tyler, anybody jump out to you there?
I mean, I think it's Seth Lugo. I mean, no one had the expectations of what he's done this year. The 1.71 ERA. There's no way you're telling me.
I didn't think he was that good, but
maybe you thought he'd have a good year from the Royals and whatnot. But he's been the best pitcher in baseball, literally by the numbers. I think obviously you left him off the list. You mentioned him earlier. Juan Soto has been just spectacular. He's been the best hitter in baseball. The toughest out. And he's probably the MVP of the whole league, both leagues. If you could,
he tried to get Logan Stone excited by that,
but he's been outstanding.
Yeah, sure, Josh.
Oh, gosh, you're gonna make me cry. Blake Snell as well.
It's good to see Josh in the chat, man. It's been a long time when you get you on, buddy.
That's well said there, Mr. Edwards. That's one of our. What do we call him like in the business? A fan favorite, as I always like to say.
He's a fan favorite, a contributor, and a behind-the-scenes man for us.
Great call here, Hernandez. He was kind of one of those where I'm like looking back at my fantasy baseball team, like, why did I not take him in the third round? Like, you knew he was going to be good in a lineup like this, kind of like the Ozuna effect that he's having with the Braves now. You plug him in, a professional hitter behind all those guys, he's going to be good. That's a great call there. Hernandez, probably Tyler. I mean, leading the Dodgers in RBIs. Like you see this when you guys are going to go through I think an 11-game stretch where it's like you have some winnable games, like the Giants, and then you have the Dodgers at the end. And like every time you face the Dodgers, Hernandez is kind of that guy at the end where you're probably like, damn it, like he's still there. But you know what I mean? Like he is one of the great pickups there as we get Jordan on here. So Tyler, what do you think about Hernandez there?
He's just the guy where you feel like you get through the three tough guys at the top of the order, then all of a sudden he's there waiting, and you feel this sense of relief, and then you feel the sense of dread as he hits a bomb or he hits a double that knocks in the big run. So he has been a perfect pickup for the Dodgers.
Jordan, we get you in on here. We're talking like some of the best offseason moves that have happened so far. Obviously, like there's a lot of candidates. I have some going at the bottom here as well. We haven't mentioned, Dylan Cease yet for the Padres. I feel like that's a guy that maybe has been a big boost for the Padres. Do you have anybody else on your mind that's been a great pickup? We talked about Soto a little bit. We haven't mentioned my guy Glasnow as my guy Logan that's going out there with it. So we got him out there. Is there any kind of other best offseason move you see out there?
I would say one that not a lot of people are talking about is Corbin Burns for the Baltimore Orioles. He's pitching just like how he has been pretty much most of his career. He still lights out stuff. And his team is insanely good. And so like I think that one goes under the radar. Not a lot of people are talking about that one. They're talking more so on the big ones, such as like Shota Imanaga, who's been balling out. Tyler Glas. Wait, how do you say it now? How do you say it now?
I always say Glasnow. I always say that.
You said okay. I just wanted. I was trying to mimic you, so that's why I was trying to figure out how you.
I
say
can't
it.
even mimic myself. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I know how to say. I know how to say Tyler Glass now, so we're all good. Obviously, I think that he is for sure under the radar as a really good pick, as a good offseason move. Another one, as well, would honestly probably have to be. Well, I mean, nobody. It's not even on the list, which I'm surprised about. Juan Soto.
Well, we kind of mentioned him before you came on here.
Okay, right? My fault. Yeah, I forgot my Facebook password. My fault. My apologies.
You're all good. Hey, what do you guys think about this guy? I find interesting is he's kind of coming along the way here. Is Profar again? He was picked up. He's had a good year. But then we mentioned Sale a little bit too. Like we dedicated a whole 25-minute episode to him in the offseason when he picked up with the Braves. He's actually delivered. I mean, the Braves finally broke a 5-game losing streak today. We're getting them more individually. But I feel like Sale, there's a lot of teams that could be using somebody like him right now.
Well, let's just be honest, and we got to get this on the record because I don't do this very often, but I was the one who was very skeptical of the Sale pickup. And I believe my opinion was, if he can be the old Sale, that's fantastic and it's great. But he's probably gonna be what he's been the last few years, and I've been wrong. So kudos to San Diego for Atlanta for taking that risk.
How about your guys' boy from the old days in St. Louis? He's with Detroit right now. Jack Attack Flaherty. Oh. He's been pretty good right now for him. Josh, go ahead.
Jordan Hicks has been more impressive, and that's the guy I was going to say. San Francisco gave him an opportunity to be a starter, and he's turned out to be able to deliver. And that, to me, is more impressive than Jack Flaherty, because Jack Flaherty was supposed to be a dominant pitcher, and he's not dominant right now, but he's been a much better pitcher this season than he has been in the past. But the big surprise move in the offseason was Jordan Hicks being acquired by San Francisco, them giving him the opportunity to start. He's got more pitches now than he ever had in St. Louis, and that's because they capped him to throwing heat. And I am impressed. I'm happy for Jordan. I always liked Jordan. I didn't want him to go away. I was hoping we were going to pick him back up in the offseason after the trade. But I'm very happy for him and unhappy that he's doing it for San Francisco and not St. Louis.
Let's go to our Giants fan here. Tyler, how do you feel about that?
The first month and a half was a lot better for Jordan Hicks. It makes the numbers stand out a little bit higher than what his number. He's been struggling a little bit as of late. I think he had one good start his last outing, but his whip is still, he's always in trouble. He seems to be able to get out of it, which is nice. But watching Jack Flaherty, a guy who I kept as a keeper for 4 years when he was a damn Cardinal in fantasy baseball, just waiting for him to break out, never doing it. What he's doing this year, under one whip, he's striking out like 12 guys for 9 innings. His stuff just is fantastic. So both those guys have had good years, but I think Jack's been the better pitcher.
Got a shout out to our guy, Susie out here, Bourbon and Baseball, of course.
He will be on June 27th. Mark that on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Susie will be here June 27th.
That will be a good show. Looking forward to that.
Gosh,
We got Josh Jordan Hicks reaching more innings than he's ever thrown. That's kind of, Tyler, you're getting that with the Harrison talk as well. We'll see how he holds up there for your lefty fans. O'Neill, although injuries getting to him again, he got a bomb tonight.
He's just standard O'Neill.
Yeah, no, I get you. There's a few there along the list. There with it. I mean, I'll throw out a couple other names too. I feel like Stroman's been pretty good with the Yankees.
He has been.
I feel like he's been pretty solid for them. Verdugo they picked him up. Obviously, the Yankees have a few there, but I feel like those guys, he's been one of the better ranked defensive outfielders in the league so far. Our guy Aaron said JD Martinez. He's always going to be just a professional hitter to me. So to me, wherever somebody like he goes, he's always going to like give you a solid at bat when you need it. Anybody else kind of stand out? I just feel like that Lopez it's such a Braves thing. Like it's such a 1.69 ERA after pitching 3 years of relief with the White Sox. And they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a stud. And then Tyler, this is TBS. I don't know. This is just what I feel like when I see this like Lopez crap. Like I don't know. That's what I get with them. And they're still struggling, but they're gonna be in it. But they have like these type of guys that keep them above water. And you're like, how the hell did they pull this off with Sale and Lopez? Kind of, and you have Fried, of course, but he got off to a slow start as well. So I don't know. Those are the Lugo one is the interesting one to me. That Seth Lugo.
That one shocks me a lot, actually.
Yeah. That's a big
because
one.
last season he wasn't all that impressive. Was he? Or am I missing something?
So I had him in moments. So this is the only reason I know about the guy. I picked him up as a relief pitcher, and then he would start sometimes, and he would throw in relief. And it seemed like every time he started, he obviously got me more points, but he had a better game statistically than when he came in as relief. So when the Royals picked him up, I was like, that's your sleeper right there. So I was kind of high on him in the offseason, but I've been high on the Royals ever since January. So, I mean, that's just.
How about Sonny Gray? Is he a good pickup for you? Is he a Vestas?
I think he's a good pickup.
Good pickup, not one of the best.
Matt Chapman? Can we go there with that? Matt Chapman?
Don't mention any Giants.
Okay, all right. We can't go there with it. Susie, is there at Astros? That's been a good pickup for you there along the way. The Yankees, they seem to be dominating this category right now. All right, hey, as we go on from best offseason paying off so far, keep the conversation going kind of on that mark with it. We got Lance Lynn, baby. Yeah, Lance has been
He's a bulldog.
He is. He's actually been all right. There's some low-key ones under the radar that have been.
Can I give you the low-key one for the Cardinals?
Yeah.
Not being a homer, Kyle Gibson has been outstanding. He's been much better than anybody in St. Louis anticipated him being. He's eating innings. He's had a couple bad games, but in those couple bad games, it happened to him early, and then he still fought through it in 8th innings, so they didn't have to eat up the bullpen. He's been incredibly consistent, though. He's not a number 1 or a number 2 by any means, but he is a good back end of the rotation pitcher, and I believe the Cardinals will pick up his option for next year.
This guy when he first came on feed, I was like, who's he? He came from Korea last year. That's who the White Sox signed him from. Now he's tearing up in their bullpen. We probably just don't hear much about the White Sox bullpen.
He was a hot commodity this offseason. Not a hot commodity. People were a lot of teams were interested in him. I described him incorrectly. A lot of teams were very interested in Fidi this offseason. I know the Cardinals were. Obviously, they didn't get him like they never do. So, I mean, that one. So my question for you guys is the guys that go from the major leagues and go to like Korea or Latin ball or whatever. Yeah. Have you guys been noticing that there's been a significant success rate for people that do that? They suck in the majors, leave, come back, and then they do significantly better than how they've performed.
I think because they're playing in some levels like Tyler, you guys correct me wrong. Like they feel like in that there's a structured league play. So some of those guys really benefit in that when you see like when they're it's like the minor leagues is a little bit different like in that regard, right? They're kind of thrown around city to city. I think it's kind of like their professional league there. So it's kind of you're treated a little differently. I don't know. I feel like maybe that leads to a little bit more success when you're there, but I don't know.
I think it's like college basketball players being better in that. Like they don't succeed in college, but they go to the NBA because they're playing professional basketball and it's their job. And they got to do it every day. And like if you play minor league baseball, there's all the like bus rides, and it's not professional baseball. You go to Korea, you go to Mexico, or normally it's Korea or Japan, where most of these guys come back and succeed.
No.
You're playing professional baseball. It's more talented players than most AAA like feeders system like into Major League Baseball. So you're playing better talent, and you have the, like you mentioned, the structure of professional baseball. I think it just gets you in the mindset of what what I have to do to succeed in professional baseball. Well, obviously Major League Baseball is going to be more talented players than even where they came from, but at least it's like the same setup.
No doubt. Josh?
So I think it would be highly intelligent of MLB teams to make a connection with the Japanese league or the Korean league or even leagues in Latin America and say, hey, we drafted this kid out of high school. We want him to come play on your team for the next 3 years and develop, or even coming out of college. Because it is, like Tyler was saying, if you go play in Japan or Korea, for sure, it's a step above AAA, but it's not quite the MLB. And some guys just need more time to develop. So going and sending them for 2 years to kind of get their minds right, see more. Because here's the thing in AAA, and it's been stated pretty clearly this year, that the pitching in Oakland Ballers already have 4 guys get signed. The pitching in AAA is not what it used to be. You're not seeing the curveball. You're not seeing the knuckle curves, the sweepers. You're not seeing those. But if you were to go overseas, you're going to see those pitches, and batters are going to learn how to hit them better. And I think that's part of the reason why Jordan Walker struggles, because he's only seeing fastballs and changeups in AAA. He's not seeing all the movement, and that's why he hasn't developed into the hitter that the Cardinals believe him to be. I think that would help more players if they had an association with teams internationally, and it would also help them mature and develop.
It's a totally different game.
Well,
they play. To me, it's a little bit different the way they do it. So I think there's a little point to that there with Josh, but also 16 and 17-year-olds shouldn't be in the minor leagues. Yeah, there's that as well. That that's a deeper hole to get into.
European soccer would say otherwise.
We the Tin Caps, our local single A affiliate to the Padres here. We had that catcher that was like 17 or 16. Ethan Salas, I think that's his name. I think he's in the AAA now. But yeah, I don't disagree. I don't think if you're 16 or 17, you shouldn't be anywhere in the minors.
Tyler, I want to keep it moving here with this. We kind of keep it going. Okay. As I get into this bigger argument, this bigger thing of most compelling first-time All-Star game starters, like you'll see that's kind of my theme here with it. These two guys are going to be battling it out for shortstop in the American League. Like these are the guys. Like these guys are our studs. They both were drafted in 2019. Yes, Witt, 2nd overall. Mr. Henderson, 42nd overall out of high school. Witt got a little bit of an earlier start. To me, it's going to be a fun little debate over the next couple of years of where they land, how they progress here. Obviously, Henderson has the AL East, maybe media in his, I don't know, maybe to his advantage, I guess, to get starting votes or something like that. But to me, this is a really, really fun debate as we kind of look at it moving forward here. What do you guys let me start with you, Tyler, real quick. What do you kind of make of this kind of shortstop thing? Then we'll go to Edwards here.
I mean, it's exciting. It's like the Nomar, A-Rod, Derek Jeter, like trio, but with 2 of them, 2 young guys. One of them has a father who you knew in the Major League Baseball. It's tough. Gunnar Henderson, the 6 gig the long ball, as Greg Maddux once told us, but he's also in a loaded lineup where the Royals lineup isn't quite as loaded, where Bobby Witt's doing it more single-handedly. I think the stolen base thing's a little thrown out. Witt has 19, Henderson only has 9, but Henderson's never been thrown out. Witt, I think, 19 and been thrown out 8 times, so he's not as successful as that 19 you'd expect with that number. I would take Witt. I think Witt's the better player. I think is a little more exciting. I think he's going to get better. Where Henderson, 21 homers is tough to pass. It's tough. Give me either one, I'm happy, but I'd side with Witt if I had to pick between the two.
It's a tough one. What do you make there, Edwards?
I thought we'd be on opposite sides here because I was going to take Witt for almost the exact same reasons Tyler said. I'd rather have the better batting average. His average is 50 points higher than Gunnar Henderson's. Yeah, he doesn't have the power, but he's got more stolen bases. He's got more RBIs. He's got more hits. He's a more versatile player. I think he's better defensively. To me, he's the better overall player. I don't need the power from my shortstop, typically. I mean, it's nice to have.
He's having a solid power year, though, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's solid, but it's not 21 homers. I mean, I would take Gunnar Henderson. Well, I wouldn't for my team because I like my shortstop. But if I wasn't a Cardinals fan, I would take either one of these guys, but I give Witt the edge. I think Gunnar Henderson will get the start in the All-Star game because of the homers, and that's what kids nowadays like and the younger generation likes. They don't appreciate all-around, well-rounded baseball players like we do because we're a little bit
don't
older.
you think Witt Jr. has the flair more than Henderson?
I think he does it quieter.
Is it because he's in Kansas City market?
But I feel like Witt has the bigger name also. Like, if you ask him,
he was touted more coming out.
Second overall pick, exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I lean towards Witt because I think he's a better overall player. I think Gunnar Henderson's maybe more exciting.
Volpe's in that list too. As maybe your Tyler, as you put him in that area. Obviously, Seager's like, well, I'm the best shortstop, maybe overall. We'll get the old. Yeah, Volpe's probably in that list as well.
Oh, yeah.
Jordan, what do you make of that little debate? You're the youngest of us three here. What's the rookie have to say about this Henderson?
So
what do you think?
I'm just comparing their stats right now.
Pretty even.
Mainly looking at the WAR. They are practically identical, 4.5 for Gunnar and 4.4 for Bobby. Granted, okay, first off, I'm taking Witt. I like his speed on the base pass. I like I like his hitting. I don't need the home runs, even though they're nice. But I mean, I would rather consistent at bats. And he, like Josh mentioned before, he's 50 points higher in the batting average. Okay. And also, does he get on base? Both of them get on base. So, I mean, I'm also looking for for defensive stats, actually, to see where they stand on that. So we got a defensive differential of 5.4 for Gunnar. And then we have Bobby Witt is a better defender, too. So, I mean,
eye test tells me it's Witt. That's that's
yeah,
what I watch.
That's the thing. And I like Gunnar a lot. I think Gunnar is a baller. I think he's a stud. Unlike Josh, I would take Gunnar over Mason in a heartbeat for my Cardinals. But but yeah, I would take Bobby Witt easy.
Man, this was I was gonna get up on the stage as we're talking. This was the Royals.
I thought this was gonna go the other way, to be honest.
Well, this is them pulling it out today. They had to do a little review with it. They ended up beating the Yankees with a walk.
Those jerseys.
Yeah, those are as good a jerseys as you get with those ones right there.
They had a no-hitter going into the seventh, right?
George Brett, we got it out of there. I just think that's they did. No, go ahead, Jordan.
No, my fault. Continue.
I was just so I feel like this one, Gunnar at third, they can move it either way. But I just feel like Tyler, this is going to be kind of a fun one from a baseball fan perspective going forward. Like if I was a young kid, this would be the one I kind of look for. If I was a little league, this would be like kind of those guys, or shortstop there with it. You have Witt Jr. second overall pick, right? These would be the stars that you're looking up to. Like you have a kid in little league. Is there a guy that they actually look up to that you kind of stand out more than you thought? Or is it
it's probably Ellie De La Cruz is the guy they kind of look up to. It's all no substance. It's just the flair, the dramatic, the fun part of baseball, which is a good thing for baseball. Like I'm glad they are like promoting this now. Like they know who he is. I don't remember. I mean, Barry Larkin, I guess, was the same way, but he was a lot better player.
Yeah. No, but I get you. Like I was curious, like when you have little league, who are those stars? Like I remember when I was coaching, like Evan Longoria was that next guy up. Felt like a lot of our little leaguers liked him in 2010 or something like that. He was so on this topic with like Henderson and Witt, there's a lot of guys that are like really compelling first-time All-Stars. Like you're gonna have both those guys are gonna be first-time All-Stars regardless, even if they're not
starters or just All-Stars?
No, just first-time All-Stars regardless. Like what they're both gonna make it, right? So one of them will be a starter, and then you have and then you have Tucker.
He's never been an All-Star?
All-Star?
Or no, not All-Star yet. For like this year, like these are going to be guys for starters, like to be the starter. Not just be an
Okay.
all-star.
I was like,
Will Smith hasn't been a starter. Kyle Tucker hasn't been a starter. Profar hasn't been a starter in the All-Star game. They've made the All-Star game, but like this is a step above where if you're like the starter and you get voted in, I feel like these are some guys that might have a chance to get in. I think Will Smith, I don't know. I've always felt like he's one of the more underrated catchers in the league. So I don't know. I feel like he's always been deserving as All-Star catcher along the way, but I feel like JT always gives him a run for his money in Philadelphia.
JT's having a down year, isn't he? Or is he just dealing with injuries?
No, I think this is Will Smith's best chance to make it this year. I think this is his year to be the starter in the National League. I think Perez has the advantage in the American League, but I think he's obviously started before. But I think Smith will have a good chance. Profar has come out of nowhere to be a starter there as well. So we'll see. Those are some guys. I think Alec Baum as well in Philadelphia has a chance to be a starter as well at third base. So I know the All-Star game is kind of a little ways away still, but it's you're going to blink here. It's going to be like right there basically in a week. With it, he goes, that's crazy. Back when I coached all kids talking about Bond, Sosa, McGuire, no matter how many times I yelled about McGuire, about Mark Grace and Ryan Sandberg. It's it's always those guys who get Will Clark, right? Will Clark, local shout out. Right there. Will Thrill, you guys know with it. So I don't know. Those are some guys that I think could be on it. Hey, if we keep it moving to the go ahead, T. Go ahead.
Right, I just wanted to bring up Jurickson Profar, and his career is insane. Like he was the number one prospect in all baseball. And he just absolutely isn't any good for 10 years. And then last year, he kind of put it together. He figured it out in the second half, and he's built on this, and he's been unbelievable this year. And I gave up on him 5 years ago. And now for him to be started in an All-Star game, we'll see if that comes to fruition. It's just shocking to see him on this list. You remember him on the A's. I can't hear you.
He was on the A's for a little bit. Yeah, he was. And the Rangers were obviously the big team. He was like one of the big deals when we'd face him. Like, oh my gosh, this would be the guy. And they didn't include him in any trades. That was the big talk, because they had a lot of offers along the way. It's like trades they could have made all the way there. So,
you guys being Cardinals fans, you remember Oscar Tavares, the number one prospect Cardinals guy?
Sadly, yeah.
He passed away. Sadly, there was a trade in the books, Profar for him straight up or something. I remember hearing about, or did that actually happen? I know that there was some sort of trade that was, and they were both.
Oscar Tavares was supposed to be the next Albert Pujols. That was the comp,
and he was looking like it too.
That was the comp, and that's what basically destroyed the Cardinals, and is why they are there where they are today, because they had to scramble and make other moves. That's what led to them picking up Ozuna and a couple other bad trades, because they were trying to fill holes after he passed away, unfortunately, tragically. And his death, they were banking on him so hard, and they knew what he was supposed to be, that when he passed, it kind of destroyed their whole game plan for the next 10 years.
And the worst part about it, his first year, granted, he played the second half of the season, so it wasn't technically his rookie season. He was lights out. First hit was a home run, and his last hit, home run. Yeah.
Tough.
It's a sad time. I miss him. I wish he was a Cardinal.
Yeah. We
have those two guys. You got Fernandez there as well, the Marlins. So, like I said, as we kind of put a little period on that part of that segment there, you got Henderson, Witt, All-Star game starters. We'll kind of see where that ends up with those guys there. Standings check as we get to it. All right.
I got that ready. Hold on.
We got to get to the MLB standings here. Let's before we get to Josh's rant here on fundamentals, what do we kind of make of? What do we make of? What do we make of the Braves? The Braves are. even if they slump this time of year, I know that maybe they won't catch the Phillies, but I feel okay there. But the big one for me, guys, is the Judge Yankees. Like Aaron Judge is just on a different level right now. Like this guy, he's on pace for basically almost. I mean, maybe he won't have 62 home runs, but he's basically on pace for a better year in a lot of categories that he has the year he hit 62. Like I don't know, this guy is just turning into a modern day, basically our modern day Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, like for this year or two, like he seems like he's an automatic getting on base twice every game. Like it doesn't seem like there's any doubt he's getting on base more than that. He's been on base now 37 straight times. I got to check him out today if he got to 38.
He went 0 for 4 with 4 Ks. But...
So I went 38 today. But Tyler, my God, I mean, this guy, I don't know. He's just on a different level than any player, I feel like, right now in the major leagues.
I mean, he's great. He does everything. He's underrated defensively as well. Like that's the crazy part as well. No one brings up his defense. I think Juan Soto coming in helps him this year. Obviously, he's still a great player without Soto, but I think just having that guy in front of you, getting on base 42% of the time or whatever clip he's at this year, he's going to knock in a bunch of runs. He's going to hit jacks. He's going to lead the league in OPS. He's the best hitter in baseball. Yeah. With Soto being the second, you could flip them whatever way you want to go. Like they're bad. Like those are the top 3 in my opinion.
He's just a freaking nature.
He's huge.
Top of the 5th inning here. I got to mention on 7th inning stretch here. Jordan, you see some of my standings checks. You might have some of your own there along the way. Any thoughts on Mr. Judge? Is he just in an elite company right now than everybody else?
Yeah. There's not much that you have to add. Just
Soto better than him? Is Soto his own teammate better? Is he the only better player?
Soto's probably overall going to be better, overall wise. But right now, as we stand, Judge is the best player on that team. But I do see Juan Soto, because they're probably going to give him a massive contract this offseason, is probably going to be the head honcho moving forward, though. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it.
The Giants will come in second place to try to sign him.
As always.
I always get second there with it.
Arson Judge to San Francisco.
Yeah,
they got a Judge.
What do you guys mention? I kind of briefly mentioned Cease, but like I was serious about it. The Padres now, like I 37 and 35, 6.5 back of the Dodgers. I don't know, like is that what I've been kind of following them this last couple of weeks. They beat up on my A's a little bit here in the extra innings. What do you guys make of the Pods? Is this a legit? I mean, they have the talent, it feels like, to be able to compete. They should be 37 and 35, as Jordan signs off for a second. But you get my point. Like, I don't see where we're at with it. What do you think of the Pods, Tyler, in your division there in the NL West? Like, do they? I don't know. They're an intriguing team to me. And I feel like me and you both like the Cease thing.
No, Cease has been great. That's a good pickup. There's something missing on that team. Like, as good as Tatis is, as good as Profar's been, Machado's having a bad year. There's something missing. Like, there's something that doesn't click. And it's been this way since, like, Tatis's steroid accusation. And I'm not putting it on that because I think Tatis is a wonderful player and he'll be a great player. But something on this roster just doesn't. I don't know if it's the bullpen, if it's the back end of the rotation. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. If they do, I think it'll be a wild card. Obviously, no one's catching the Dodgers.
I do think Jim makes a good point that Arise, when you add, and I feel like he's the perfect player for that franchise, though, right? Like Absolutely. You have the Tony Gwynn kind of. I'm not saying he's Tony Gwynn, but it kind of feeds to their like narrative as a fan, like right? Like that's your fan base, that's your narrative. We have a guy that's a lefty. Whatever he gets 11, he switch, but you get my point. Like he's bad. He's the high average guy. He's going to win those. It's something that their fan base can relate to as well. I feel like that trade's going to give them momentum come here summertime, and they're going to pick up some steam. I expect them to make a wild card spot. Josh, do you feel that same way?
Oh, I think it's a lock. I think there's one spot open in the wild card.
A lock? Ooh, I like it.
I think it's an absolute lock. I mean, if they don't at least get the wild card this year, They need to blow that team up and start from absolute scratch because the last 2 years, on paper, that roster is elite. Elite. And if they can't get the job done this year with the addition of Arise, blow it up. Start from scratch. Get rid of the entire front office. You have a good manager there. You can trade all your top players away for best picks. Tell your fan base it's going to be 5 years, but we're going to have the best young core coming through our minor league system for the next 5 years. Blow that thing up if it doesn't work out this year because something's wrong. There's no way you have they have as much talent as anybody in the NL except for the Dodgers. They should be the second best. They should be better than the Phillies, and they're not. And I have more faith in the Phillies. I'll go back to this. Outside of the pitching, on the offensive side.
Well, that's a big part of the game.
Yeah, but they should be an elite team, and they're underplaying where they should be. So if it doesn't work out this year, blow it up.
And maybe this is the turn of that. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Maybe this is the turn of that where they're kind of go with it. Jordan, you have a feeling about the Pods there? The Fathers, my guy.
If I would have gone and had my statement before Josh did, then I would have had stuff to say. But no.
Hey, we got
and also,
did we agree again?
Yeah, no, like.
Well, can the Guardians be really good then? Is this real now?
Hold on, but
go ahead. I'm good.
The Padres are paying Bogarts $250 million to do nothing. Like, there's still holes in this roster.
There are.
There's top end. The top end talent's great for the Padres. It's the bottom, like, it's very bad.
So are they going to be buyers at the deadline? That's the question. And what are they going to go buy?
Oh yeah,
Jordan, who are they going to go get at the deadline?
So like, who's going to take up these contracts? That's the question. Like, you have Xander Bogaerts, like you said, getting $250, and he's hurt. And when he was playing, he was significantly underperforming. You have Manny Machado, who's not playing well this season, and then you have a bunch of the role players that are playing above expectations. And you have Tatis, and then you also have a pretty good relieving core, and then your pitching staff is all right. And then you have Arise, who's basically carrying this offense when it comes down to just getting on base and scoring. And so, like, that's the tough part on who do you trade and how do you trade, because not everybody's going to take those massive contracts. $250 is expensive.
It is. And I think I think Cronenworth, I got to mention him. He's been pretty good.
For Crones, yeah.
The Crow Zone, as they say there at the Padres, the Crow Zone, he hits it into there. I hear you. Who's the other guy that's been pretty good? Susie, your guy that you always mention, Merrill, right? Jackson Merrill. He's been pretty solid well on the way.
I saw him in Fort Wayne a couple times. He's good. He's good.
I think I like the fact that they have Machado there still ready to go, and like Tyler knows that they're willing to make trades. And I think there's potential for them to make a little run here in the second half. That's kind of excites me with it. Susie talking about the wind tunnel in Cleveland. Good lot. I don't even. I want to go to. Has anybody been to Cleveland here before? Jordan, has anybody been to the great state of Ohio? You have been to Cleveland.
I've been to Ohio.
I've been to Cleveland.
All right, nice place.
It's not bad. I don't want to vacation there, but I mean,
it's livable.
They had nice bars.
It's livable. It's livable.
Yeah, because they're a football city.
It's livable.
I've been there. Brown Stadium's not impressive. I drove by LeBron's house when he was there.
Go Cavs.
The bum.
I know, but Columbus is way nicer.
That's hilarious.
Hold on. Look at this one.
That's fine. That's a good one. Susie backing me up with Jackson Merrill there with the walk-off home run the other day as well. Yes, I know he's been solid for them as well. Have you all heard of the theory of what he's hit it for with home runs? Yes. Yes, there is a theory for that. They do have that. All right, so those are some of the standings checks. Her Astros and the Guardians, we didn't get into those teams. I do want to mention those because when I look at the standings, those are my initial thoughts. You guys add whatever you want to with that. Like the Guardians, like again, we're doing the show here again another week. They're 20 games over 500. The Royals are pushing them, and that's kind of motivating to go more. They have a 5-game lead. Their offense, They have a plus 90 run differential. I never would have thought that with them. It's like that's the third best in the American League by far. I mean, that's
behind
crazy.
the Yankees and the Orioles.
Exactly.
Let's know who they're behind.
Exactly. So they're right there with it. And then, Susie, just for you, your Astros looming. I know they're 31-38. They're 8.5 behind Seattle. Texas is 6.5 behind. That's not enough for me to say they're done. So, like, when I look at the standings check, those are my thoughts on the Guardians and Astros. T, you got a thought on one of those teams there?
I just want the Guardians. I think Jose Ramirez is the most underappreciated player the last 8 years. He's just a stud, absolute beast. And then the back end of this Guardians pitching, it goes past Clase now. Now there's Gaddis and there's Caden Smith, both 26 and 25. They have 3 guys who can just shut you down for 3 innings. So if you only have to play 6 innings of baseball, of pitching, and then you got those 3 guys shutting games down. The lineup still is hit or miss, but with Jose Ramirez in the middle of it, you're going to have somebody on base pretty regularly. So I like what the Guardians are doing, the small ball, and with the back end of the rotation or back end of the bullpen. I think they're the best team in the AL Central. I don't think the Royals will catch them.
Well, let's help Susie here. She's venting a little here. She says the Astros are cooked. Josh, do you feel that same way? Are they absolutely toasted? I mean, I don't have faith in Seattle. I mean, this is division I know more than any of that. Like, if you're telling me Seattle's running away with division, I mean, I'm just not believing this. Like, I can't take you on that.
You're taking my question because that was actually going to be my question when we got to this point.
Go ahead.
Is Seattle real? Seattle on paper is real. I don't know if they have the charisma and the foundation to keep this up. Their run differential is only plus 12, so it doesn't give me a lot of faith in them. But they're in a really, really weak division. Texas is not playing the way they should. Houston looks like, Houston doesn't look like anything like they used to. I mean,
Texas is only 1 game over Houston right now.
I know.
Technically, they're 2 games over. They have 1 more.
Oh, yeah. 2 games.
Because Houston has 3 more losses. No big deal. That's all right. I'm looking at it. So if I wasn't looking at it, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I don't know. I think this is Seattle's division to lose, if you want me to say it that way. I think they have the best pitching.
Depth? Yeah.
I think it's their pitching depth, and that's what it comes
their
down to.
Pitching's sick.
Right,
Their
and that's
so
why they're
good.
10 games over 500. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're on a 4-game heater right now. They're 24-11 at home. They're 16-19 away. But the thing that scares me is they're 13-17 against teams that are better than 500. You guys are not trash. You guys are finally having a bad season after 6 years of good baseball.
I can appreciate Susie's
deal with it, Susie. Every organization goes.
Gosh, as a new fan with Susie, I can appreciate that because, like, I remember like texting my buddy like when I'd be like a senior. I'm like, we lost to the Rangers. Jermaine died 2000. We're now 2-1 on the season. We're pathetic. We're losers. We have no right being in the league. Like, I can understand the passion. My buddy be like, there's 3 games into the season. Relax. But I hear you. Like, go ahead, continue.
Susie, you just need to go look at your team's history, and this is not the worst they've ever been. You'll feel better once you go look at how bad they've been in the past. So,
you guys were bad.
I mean, they were bad. So be happy with what you have right now. It's just not the season.
Last place in the Central every year.
No, they were horrible, but they
were
bad. Always fun to watch. They always had some talent. They were just bad. But Seattle, to me, it's the pitching that gives the. Oh no, it never will. It's in orbit still.
I think it's in Jupiter
the
now.
space station. But no, the pitching for Seattle is what gives them the edge. Again, like I said, it's their division to lose. I think the Guardians, if they have one major injury, they fall off, especially if it's Ramirez. I still think the Orioles can catch the Yankees, if you want to be honest.
Can't be Ramirez. I know that. He cannot be the guy they lose.
No, I'm just saying, if he gets hurt, they crumble.
Talk about a stud. Just Ramirez is I expect. I expect
well, then you should not root for Houston.
IP greatness. IP greatness in the morning.
So here's a thing. Here's a thing with the AL West. They are so bad. How bad are they? So we have.
They're bad.
So they have So they have Seattle with a 40-30 record, and then 4 teams all in a row. You have Texas, Houston, LA, and then Oakland.
Yeah.
That is just – I didn't realize that they was that bad and that close to being who's going to be the worst team in this division. There's a little separation between Houston and the Angels, but my golly, like if just like Josh said, if Seattle loses this, it's because of pitching injuries or their pitching staff is not performing up to par. Their 1 through 5 is damn near top tier in all of baseball. Like their 5th pitcher, Brian Wu, would literally be a number 1 or number 2 on any team in baseball.
I would
like
take Wu in a heartbeat.
He is so good, but then he's their 5. Like, come on. But their offense is just not producing. And they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well.
Not good at all. Not good. It's right. The West is like in my lifetime, like the West has always been one of the better divisions, and it's always been kind of one of them. I mean, I know the East is always there, but the West is always like kind of been the secret guy. There's always been a secret team there in the regular season that's always kind of pushed an AL East team or something like that, like to a brink or something like that. So I do find that kind of interesting. The last thing, we didn't get into them much, so maybe we'll get into them. I'm trying to get my guy John on from Atlanta there. Tyler, the Braves, I know they're top in the wild card. They've lost, they were 5 out of 6. We kind of didn't really cap on our guy that was the cover boy for today's episode, Chris Sale. Let me just put this there. Are you not worried about the Braves at all?
As far as winning the division, sure, but
I mean like winning a World Series. Like, do you feel like they're like Acuna goes out, like Olsen's like, we know how Olsen can be. Like, I don't know, like, are you kind of like this may be just a toast year for them?
I don't think it's toasted. I don't think they're going to win the World Series, but I said that when Acuna got hurt 2 years or 3 years ago when he got hurt, and they picked up Soler and picked up all these crazy the ball, and they get hot in October and they win a World Series. So
yeah,
I don't think they're going to win the World Series. They're not as good as they were last year. The pitching hasn't been as good. The hitting hasn't been as good. Olsen is looking more like the Olsen from the A's when he was very hot and could get very cold instead of the 50 home run year from last year. They're going to be in the playoffs. We'll see how they do in that wild card round. I think we'll see them there.
Got the Rangers here, had 3-0. We're talking about the AL West. They are beating the Dodgers right now, 3-0. Tyler,
go Texas.
Long ways to go though in this game. We had the Dodgers thrown out at home the other night in that game as well. All right, hey, let's keep it going here. There's a lot we could do in the standard. 6th inning here, Josh.
I actually enjoy watching the Dodgers play.
I do too. Josh, little rant here. Fundamentals. What's on your mind here tonight, sir? Let's give
the fundamentals in baseball right now are absolutely horrid. Defensive mistakes left and right, lack of ability to bunt and move runners over. It's atrocious. It's destroying the game. Homers are fun to watch. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I enjoy a homer as much as the next dude or chick or guy or gal or whatever you are. But dude, what has happened to the fundamentals of baseball? Why can guys not field a ground ball? Why can guys not catch balls in foul territory? Why are catchers letting pass balls go by at what, and it may not be a record rate, but to me, it seems like it's happening more often than not. Why are throws across the diamond not getting to the first baseman? It may just be me, but I feel like these teams focus on, we're going to go hit the ball, and we're not going to work on anything defensively. I feel like there's way more errors than I've ever seen. Not than I've ever seen, but I feel like there's more errors on a consistent basis across the league from the games I'm watching right now. And, it's one error a game, or each team has an error. One team has 2 errors, but it seems like they add up. And I haven't gone and checked the stats because it's something that frustrates me because I feel like baseball is not as crisp as it used to be, and teams just don't care about fundamentals, and all they do is care about hitting the ball. And it's something that bothers me with baseball. I mean, do you guys feel like the fundamentals are good? Because I feel like they don't work on it. I feel like they don't practice it at least once a week.
I remember my grandfather saying they would do pregame infield practice. I don't think anybody's seen that any time before a game. Like, obviously, those things. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest flaws is the defensive execution. But at the point of giving up defense, you're gaining offense, you're gaining entertainment from the shortstop position. You're gaining more power. Tyler, your thoughts on Josh's thoughts there?
I think players look at contracts and go, "Wow, you hit home runs, you get paid." Where am I going to spend most of my time? Am I going to go in the cage and get a contract? Am I going to go out on the field and get dirty and like maybe improve myself as a baseball player in a certain aspect? But the contract's not going to have as many zeros at the end of it, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Jack
That's part of my
Wilson's
problem
not
with
making
baseball.
any extra money. Jack Wilson's not making money from the Pirates. Those other guys. Jordan, what do you think of that?
So hitting has became in today's generation as a top priority. Nobody really. Oh, dang! All right, well that sucks. Jim beat me to it. But also you have to think about the advanced analytics as well. We're all focused on exit velo. We're all interested in barrel rates, fun stuff like that. Balls are coming at you at lightning speed now. I mean, yes, that's not an excuse. They should be fielding it. They're professional athletes getting paid millions of dollars to play baseball. I pride myself in defense. I prefer defense over hitting. Personally, that's just me. But you're not wrong. But I also say you're not right that they're lacking fundamentals. I just think their priorities are just different.
So they're lacking fundamentals, or at least
No.
fundamentals on defense.
You got your boy Wynn that's doing all right there. Your boy Wynn
Not
is
yet.
defense.
We're not there yet.
They're willing to risk more defense for offense.
There we go. Yes. Yes. They're willing. Yes. There we go, Darren.
How many games have we seen lost because of bad defense?
A lot.
Not being able to throw the ball where it needs to go.
Tyler had the Giants last year. He lost more games of defense than any team last year.
There's my point.
Well, I've watched a decade of the Giants not hit since 2016. Also,
there you go, Josh. Pin that comment.
And that's what I want. I love 80s baseball. I just do.
There is a style.
Willie McGee.
Willie McGee.
Yeah, I love Willie McGee.
Cool, baby. Got there.
Should we get to Bowman, Ozzie Smith? I mean, shoot.
Should we get to the seventh inning here? Should we get to the seventh inning here, Josh? Should we get to it?
I mean, Darren, what's your?
Let's get. All right, Brandon, you can't get mad at us this week, Diamond Notes. You got it. We got there with it. We got to the seventh inning part of the show here with it. All right, we had some good conversation. We had the fundamentals. I agree with you, Josh, on that part of it. There is a little bit of the game that is lacking with like style to defense. There is like the Ray Ordonez. There is the Ozzie. There is there is this part, Tyler, that is kind of fun about the game there with it. But they also have to be able to hit a little bit to be able to make them relevant at the same time too. So, or add some sort of speed to it to make it a little different with it. Cal Ripken changed the game. He was bad for the game. He was too good at 6'6". He changed everything for him. Diamond Notes here with it as we got to it. All right, MLBers happy with London series. Suggest some tweaks. They said they had too many days off. They had the Mets versus Philadelphia out there. What a double play to end the game there. Sunday morning out here. It was at 10 a.m. when that game ended, basically out here. So what a finish there with the catcher. Double play. I'll try to get it up on the screen here. Cardinal fans give Skeens a standing ovation. St. Louis and your Giants, they play this time, Josh. I look forward to this episode next Thursday. They're going to be playing in Rickwood there. The throwbacks, they got that also thrown out there. Where a lot to get into. I got the down low there with the Diamond Notes. Let's go with you, McGurk. Where do you want to start with this? What do you have as a Diamond Note this week?
It's the St. Louis, San Francisco wearing the Negro League baseball jerseys. They're phenomenal. They look clean. Get rid of the City Connect and go to whatever your team wore back in those days. Like, those jerseys are sweet. They look clean. They look way better than the City Connect jerseys. Like, just throw those all in the trash and go back to this.
It's as good as it gets right there. I look forward to that game, like out there in Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. Our guy C Wood out there in Alabama, he's got that going with it. Jordan, any thoughts on that?
I love it when baseball brings in history into modern day.
No doubt.
And those jerseys, like, they go hard. I like them a lot. Like, they're like simple, but then you can also see how old and historic they are. And so I'm a huge fan of that. But then also seeing a game be played in Rickwood, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, and the City Connect stuff, I don't disagree. Just going with the old school throwback jerseys every Friday home game you have, those will go crazy.
I mean, they're pretty sweet. Some of those hats, like they're
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get the Cardinals one.
It was funny being Tyler, this guy from Talking Baseball Day, and like a few other like good baseball Twitter accounts or X accounts, whatever. They were like, there's this guy, I don't know if you remember, about a few weeks ago, he kind of like, hey, I got this, I went to Lids and they sent me this, the Giants cap or whatever. Like, then this is what they're going to be playing at Rickwood. And Talking the Baseball tweeted out a few other, like I said, good accounts. And me and Tyler interviewed this guy like about a year ago from the Bay Area. So it was kind of funny that he was kind of out there breaking news with this cap. He's over at USC now. I'm actually looking forward to that a little bit there at that. I just feel like that's going to be a big deal. Can I give you guys 50 seconds of something that might motivate you for a little bit? Hopefully my video stands up. So hopefully here it goes.
Put it on the screen.
Michael, is this the neighborhood?
Oh my God, yes we are here in Fairfield, Alabama. Can you feel it?
I can feel it. I can feel it. Jake, this is Alabama, bro.
This is, and you can, like you said, you can feel it. Seeing here where Willie grew up, this field here commemorating that, getting to walk on the field, seeing the bases.
What's the first thoughts thinking? I know they named this Willie Mays Park. He went to high school not too far from here. What's it feel like for you?
The first thoughts that come to mind is all these children that live in this neighborhood right here, and who's the next? And do they know that? And are they going to have that opportunity? And for me, that's what this is about, telling this story that, hey, right from this neighborhood come the best ball player we've ever seen. Why not you? It doesn't have to be baseball.
I don't know, guys. That's good stuff. That kind of jacks me up getting ready for an event like that. Like, well, there's a 5-minute thing. I don't want to play the whole thing, but like, Willie Mays obviously came from that area. I just wanted to give you a little taste there with Harold Reynolds. Jake Peavy's the guy there talking. If you're not familiar, he played with the Giants. Tyler, he has a good story as you go on there about him giving his grandfather his jacket at a game. It's good stuff. A couple minutes into that video, so maybe we'll get that on Fat Boy. But I don't know, like that kind of stuff. Like I love that Field of Dreams thing as well. Like I'm kind of with this is going to be kind of a cool thing. It seats 10,000 people. Like, this is kind of a cool event. This is kind of like one of those things, like you said, history in baseball. Give it to me all day long. I love this. Sign me up for it all day.
And Willie will be there. I'm excited.
Is he going to be there?
I thought that's what somebody said.
Oh, man, if he's there, that's going to –
why wouldn't he be there? That would be awesome. The greatest of all time at back at where everything started. Shoot.
I think that's why if he's there, that's going to be a surprise because I feel like that's why his son's there right now, right, Tyler? Kind of representing him a little bit, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's surprise in there. Tyler, what do you make of it? And we'll get to Josh to end it here on Diamond Notes here.
It's just, I mean, as a Giants fan and listening to my dad tell me about Willie Mays from the day I was born, basically, he's the best, and I hope he gets there. And the Giants celebrate their history better than anybody I've seen. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm in the area, but they have like annual things. They give like Willie's. He shows up. He speaks. People listen. But as far as the game goes, it's the two perfect teams to play each other. Big rivalry, but also very respectful. Like they have a deep history in Major League Baseball of just, and they're winning franchises from the beginning of time. So like I think it's the perfect event for this to happen.
Does this game matter to you though? Like, okay, it's a Thursday game, right? Like, it's going to be
I'll
on.
be tuning in.
You know, obviously you'll be watching 7th inning stretch along with it. But like, you get my point. Like, are you like, is it must see TV outside the Giants? For you, is this a must see thing?
Yeah. I mean, if it was the Yankees and like the Red Sox playing or something like this, like as long as it's two franchises that've been around from the beginning, celebrating of old great, and they're going to do it right the time of the past, I think I would be tuning in.
Josh, I kind of got to get you on this because I want to keep it moving, but I want to get your opinion before I move to the 8th inning here. I got to get this up on the screen here. Paul Skeens gets a little bit of
3 pitches. He'll leave with a runner at second, 1 out.
Look at this, Greg.
Yeah,
We got
Cardinal fans giving him a standing ovation.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Let's hear it, Joe.
Boys,
I think we're about to disagree here.
I got to get your takes on this one. What are we, Mr. Edwards? What are we making of?
I feel like we're going to disagree.
Tyler, did you see it? The fan he gave him
Yeah, tipping his cap.
Yeah,
Edwards,
yeah. Come on, Josh. I'm ready.
What do you got, Edwards, for the tip of the cap there?
So I am very divided on this. And here's why. I think it's a great showing for St. Louis, and it shows the fans of St. Louis appreciate great baseball. I think it's a shot at the front office because the fans at the stadium basically just said, give us somebody who's a great pitcher to watch, and we'll give you all we have. So I'm okay with it. I'm not mad about it. But at the same time, this is a division game, guys. Come on. It's a 0-0 game in the 7th. Our pitcher's pitching just as well as the kid is, but the kid is impressive. He's got his own stuff. His mustache isn't as good. We know Skeens is better than Michaelis, okay? Shut up. Just shut up for a second. But Michaelis had his best game of the season in that game.
Oh, period.
He showed up, and it was the perfect kind of baseball game. It's my favorite kind of baseball game, a pitcher's duel. I had a buddy at the game. He was there. He was right behind the green seats for this game. It's fantastic that St. Louis shows their true colors. It's been a rough couple of years. There's been a lot of negative publicity for the Cardinals from the fan base. But this shows that Cardinals fans appreciate good baseball. They know good baseball when they see it. And even if it's not somebody who's on their team, they appreciate great baseball when it's in front of them. And
Josh,
so it's a message to the front office.
Josh, I'm sorry that statement makes me sick from you because the only thing is like Tyler a couple of weeks ago when Soto hits a homer to right, the Yankees stadium goes crazy in San Francisco. I felt like, what are we doing in St. Louis? This is not. This is a rookie. This is not Nolan Ryan coming off the mound.
It's a generational rookie. I think that's what the difference.
You're coming up with generational players every single year.
No. Okay, Paul Skeens was giving up the hype from the get-go, and he's gonna probably live up to it. He throws a splitter at 96. That is stupid and should be illegal. He should not be allowed to throw that. And just Cardinal fans giving him a standing ovation, just like what Josh said, really just shows that we love baseball. We just like and we respect good baseball. Would we have done that if, for example, if Shota would have pitched against us? Would we have done that? Hell no.
Because he's a Cub.
Exactly. Obviously, we think of the Pirates different than the Cubs because we're not as deep of a rivalry as they are. But then also, it's like you don't boo Michael Jordan for going off back in the day.
It's Paul
Everybody's rooting for him.
3 starts in. What are we doing?
Paul Skeens is a stud.
You know what?
He is a stud. He's a stud, and just like what Josh says, this is a big FU to give us what we want. We will be good if you give us what we want.
Paul Skeens,
but you don't, because you don't spend money, and you guys are cheap.
Colton Wong, though, he gets the ovations according to Logan. We like
too many times. He was a fan favorite, though. Everybody loved Colton Wong.
Colton gets it.
Can I address something from Logan because he decided to get onto the chat? Can I address this real quick?
And I love Logan for this. I love him for this.
I like how I always like how he calls you Joshy.
It's because he loves me. He misses me. So Logan, here it is. If when Contreras comes back, Sonny Gray looks like he did at the beginning of the season, I may have an opinion and I may have a feeling about that. But as of right now, Sonny's doing exactly what I expected him to do. Come out and pitch really, really well, hit a bit of a slump, stumble, fall, and pick himself back up and carry himself again. He had a good game. He had a good outing in his last outing, 9 Ks in 7 innings. So I think it's a Sonny Gray thing. I really honestly don't think this is a catcher issue. Herrera is perfectly fine behind the plate, except for he can't throw anybody else out at second.
No, Herrera is not good defensively, man.
His only problem is he can't throw anybody out at second, which is a big problem.
That's a
Don't get me wrong.
huge problem. He has
I
not
just
thrown
said
a
it's a
single
big
person
problem.
out.
You get a
He's
double
thrown
every
3 out.
second.
He's thrown 3 out.
Nah. Wilson Contreras is our catcher from
Not for
here
long.
on. Yes, he
Close
is.
to home plate, William.
This
That's
is not the Cardinals. We're not
don't
debating this
do
right
that.
now, Jordan. He asked me a question. I'm giving him my answer.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
and I agree everything that Logan has to say.
Logan, Cardinals.
I wouldn't say everything. I've heard Logan say some.
He asked a question. He didn't say anything. All I'm saying is if Sonny goes and his lights out when Contreras comes back, I will have a different feeling about Herrera. But as of right now, Sonny's had 6 out of his last 7 games have not been good, and he's thrown to 2 different catchers we have on the roster.
The way I'm reading it, it's more of a Contreras issue they have with you than like you have with Contreras. Or am I misreading the way this is?
I had a big issue with Contreras last year. He was much improved this year. I appreciate his tenacity and his passion for the game. He is a hell of a hitter. He's got a hell of a cannon for an arm, but he doesn't call a great game. Much better this year than last year. I've seen the improvement. I've accepted him as part of our team as a catcher, but he's still never going to be a Yadier Molina.
Why do you?
Jordan Cardinals.
He's not even a Mike Matheny.
Bring
dude.
back Cardinals Chronicles. We need to go deep into this. So, yeah. I think Contreras is. I think the injury. He's been good this year, right? He was.
Yeah,
solid.
again, I said he's been good this year.
I can't believe you're trying to. You're expecting another Yachty to come out. There's not a single. There's
the comparison that people make that I don't like.
People that do that comparison don't know none.
That's what I'm saying.
Like there's not a Yachty. There's not a single Yachty in baseball right now.
There's been another Yachty in baseball in the last 30 years.
So
closest thing is Pudge.
So if anybody is comparing him to Yachty, their opinion's mute and it's wrong.
I got to throw out my guy Benito Santiago. He was kind of.
I apologize.
Mix. Benito was in that mix too. Mr. Edwards as a defensive minded catcher there with it. We got a comment here. What's our comment here? I like Contreras gets injured May 6th, 7 hours back. Coincidence? No, I hear you. There's some of that. I like chaos on the show. It means doing it. Logan, I like the participation there with it. We got to get you back on here, my friend, with it. All right. Hey, 8th inning here with it. MLB Trivia. Time of the show. We'll see if anybody knows the show. We'll see if McGurk, you know it. You always know me a little better. We'll see what happens with it. All right. Hit number 1. MLB Trivia here with it. I played for 13 years in the big leagues as a pitcher from 2005 to 2017 and made 3 All-Star games. My first one coming in 2009. Anybody want to throw out a guess there? No? Okay.
No.
Hit number 2, I finished my career 104 and 118 with a 3.68 ERA. I had a career high 16 wins in 2012, finishing 6th in the AL or in the NL Cy Young race.
Is that Big Sexy?
Was that Rich Sexton? No, he's ahead. No, who's Big Sexy? Just to give you
Bartolo Colon.
I had Richard Sexton in my mind as well. He was a Brewers icon for both.
Cologne had to have a better record than that.
No. Cologne did. I just wanted to.
Mark Burley is not
better than that.
It's a good guess. But
I just wanted to.
NL.
I got a guess, but I'll wait one more. Cool.
I have my comments off, so I can't see what anybody's saying.
I can't see
Edwards,
comments.
I want before Tyler gives a guess because I feel like maybe he'll get it. But what do you? It sounds like he has a guess. Josh, do you have a guess there?
Not yet.
Jordan,
I got a few guys in mind, but
all right. So let's go. There's a big
Hold on,
one.
what was the first hint?
I played
What
13
years?
seasons as a big league as a pitcher from
think they
2005.
started
Made
early
3
in
All-Star games. First one coming in
I don't have a
2009.
I don't have one.
All right, hit number 3. I'm a 3-time World Series champion. I have thrown a perfect game in my MLB.
so that's only 28 different dudes.
Do we have a guess there, gentlemen? I
forgot
feel like
that.
I feel like it's a big hint. I feel like Burley was already guessed.
Kane?
Thank you, McGurk. Thank you, Mr. McGurk. Matthew Kane was the answer there. This date, 12 years ago, gentlemen, against Susie's poor little Astros there.
Dang, these Astros just getting killed today.
They're getting killed tonight, but this is what happened.
This is when they were pathetic.
On the ground, Arias from deep third, got him! And that's
He almost messed that up too.
Arias
One of the
almost
worst
did.
infielders in Giants history.
Mobbing Matt Cain on the pitcher's mound.
Oh,
look at that
Buster
poser.
Posey.
Posey hugs.
Performance.
I don't know, gentlemen. I had to get him up there. I thought he was a good trivia guy this week. His
I did
record.
that just because Tyler's on.
No, I actually did. Tyler told me 3 hours ago he's going to. But I didn't know he was going on. But I just feel like that coming on. I knew that was coming up. This 12 years ago. I knew that would be on the link with it. So I saw that as a highlight with it. It's funny when I look at this clue right here. 104 and 118. I feel like
with a 3.68 ERA. That was the part that got me. I was like, hold on, what?
He's a better pitcher than that. Tyler, that was always his biggest thing. He got no run support. That was always his thing. None.
Especially
right?
early on in his career.
You know that more than anybody. None.
Yeah, from like 2005 to 2009, it was you get like two runs max. I'm telling you, the Giants couldn't hit till when Bonds left to now, except for they'd hit timely home runs in those World Series runs.
Logan is right. Mr. Blanco did make an unreal play at
one of the best.
Yeah, was at the 8th inning, I feel like, with one out in right center field.
Yeah, 7th
he dove. It was kind of like that guy. What was it? It was basically like the center fielder for Burley making that catch against the wall. It was kind of the same idea. Like they saved a perfect game along the way there with it. Matt Cain, one of the best. Jordan was even there part of your. It was a little bit of a pest against your Cardinals along the way as well. Come on, not too old. You got to know Matt Cain, right, Jordan? Come on.
I know Matt Cain. I know Matt Cain. Trust me.
He
I know Matt Cain.
I got myself.
He was on my list. For some reason, I was thinking Lester or Lackey, but they never threw perfect games. That was like my number 2 pick.
I was thinking Brad Penny early, but that was too early. He started earlier than 2005. That's why I needed that first back.
Brad Penny.
I was thinking Andy Pettit for some reason, but I knew he didn't play until 17.
I thought Andy Pettit too. Holy smokes!
And that's who I was like, is that it? I was like, no, I don't think so. That's not him.
I was like, Pettit's better than that.
Yeah, no, that win-loss throws you off with Kane because he was better than that. That was always the big talk out here. It was like, that was always the big
loss
talk.
records for pitchers.
Right, Tyler? Kane pitches 1 run hit. That's all you're getting from Matt Cain out there with it. So, all right, 9th inning here with it. We got
the Cardinals are world champs in 2011.
I always will say this. The Joe Buck part frustrates me there, but whatever. We'll give to that the MLB Flashback, the MLB video part of it the week here. Kane lasted longer than I expected. Kane was a good pitcher. MLB Flashback video of the week. Jordan, this might be before your time. A toddler at this point. One of my
I know my history. Play it.
All right. He played for your Cardinals back in the day. Here we go.
Oh, hold on.
This is goat catch.
My favorite catch ever. My favorite catch ever. Here we go. Let's get it up on the screen.
There's a fly ball center field. Long run for Jim.
Oh yeah, this catch.
Unbelievable.
That was insane.
Full extension, diving backwards.
Look at those jerseys, man.
Those go hard.
I love those.
Ever seen.
Shout out Paul Hamilton.
Good hat too.
Fans appreciated Steve as
Yeah.
much as we do. And
We got another replay. Look at this bad boy. Look at this.
Just Superman, baby.
Look how many steps
Whoop.
he has to make.
That's as good as it gets.
He's able to dive for that ball and pull it in. What a play by Jim Henderson.
He is absolutely
Good Lord,
phenomenal in center.
Not going to get much better than that. Let's just see it one more time as I'll get it on I'll put the volume down. But gentlemen, Tyler, I got this thing right here from right now. Jim Edmonds got him to give it to me in 1996 in the mail. Like one of the best defenders. Goes to the Cardinals. Like I said, he goes into my category, right? Me and you always talk about this people my kids will never know. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a great player that nobody will know about it. I feel like my kids and stuff like that. And this catch to me is just one of the best baseball tonight. You've seen it. I don't know. This one stands out to me a lot, Mugger.
And this is why defense matters in baseball.
This guy was different, though. He was the exception to the rule. This guy was I mean, I don't know. This guy, he was weird. He almost felt like the John Stockton of point guards. Like that's what I felt like. He didn't do it like that. I don't know. Like that's my example. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it.
He read the ball off the bat better than anybody else.
Him and Andrew Jones were different.
Oh, yeah. Andrew Jones is definitely the same category. Same category, 100%. But Jim Edmonds, I wish he would stop being in the broadcast booth for the Cardinals and go down and be on the bench and coach. I think the team would be better if they worked with him at the plate and defensively.
A fun fact, my wife has an unhealthy hatred for Jim Edmonds because of him being on some reality TV show that it's just like he's such a jerk. He's like Real Housewives or something.
That's hilarious.
My wife hates him.
That's hilarious. Jim,
I have to look this up. Hold on.
Real Housewives of probably LA or Beverly Hills.
That's hilarious.
I know who Jim Edmonds is.
Well, the only way my son's gonna know who Jim Edmonds is because of broadcasting.
That's probably so he's the Cardinals guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And I looked up to Jim Edmonds for defense actually. So I portrayed my way of defense like he was, because he played a little bit when I was playing. He was still in the league. He was on the end of his career.
Yeah, no doubt. But he was. I just feel like right when he went to you guys in those early 2000s, he changed your teams. There's obviously that big home run versus the Astros. That's always. So yeah, Tyler, that was always a big one for me. Baseball. And I thought we got Logan. I know people who know Jim Edmonds, and now he looks like fondly. Yeah, he was one of those guys. He was one of the best defenders. Like I like your comparison to Andrew Jones. They were kind of in that same like kind of category.
I love that.
Like that.
They also hit similar too. They could hit bombs, but they weren't going to hit like 330 or anything.
Yeah.
But they were great hitters. But they were different animals. One from the left side, one from the right side.
In the Hall of Fame.
I think he got in, didn't he?
No.
No.
Because
that's
it's stupid.
No, that was part of our fun discussion this year. We'll have that again next August on 7 stretch as well. Gentlemen, we're getting on an hour 15 here. I feel like it's a good episode this week. Jordan, you've been on the last few weeks. Glad you can join us again. You always know you have the invite. Been a couple weeks. Thanks for your insight on the baseball around the league here. Appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight, man. Tyler.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And we didn't get prime Jordan. We got just regular Jordan tonight. So
yeah, my glasses are in the car, so I didn't want to get them.
McGurk, it's been here or there. We've been doing a few when we can. I know you can join when you can with it. And I always say this, me and you, I feel like naturally baseball just becomes easy for us in some regards. I know you love the game, you coach it and stuff like that. Glad you could join us again on a Thursday night. Hope you had a good time tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me there. Josh, thanks for putting up with me. And
you're always
great
welcome.
talking baseball.
Nice talking to you too, Tyler.
Edwards, good show tonight.
Hey, we had to have a great one. We were off last week.
We
came out flat this week. That'd be a real disappointment.
Disappointment with it. We got a good shows coming up. We got Susie in a couple weeks here. June 27th. Be sure to tune in to that. Next week
Tom will be back on soon too.
Tom, hopefully as well.
Tom,
you boys always have it.
Boston Tom.
Boston Tom. We got him on there. Last time he almost went reality style last time. We had him on there with us, so that was kind of fun. With that, we had him on there.
You can guarantee my boys showing up for that show.
We love that.
Keep you off that one though.
Your boys always bring to it.
I said we're gonna have to keep you off of that one. You're gonna have to stay in the comment section.
What is that?
But we like to give Boston Tom as much time as he needs to talk.
I was on a show one time with him, and I just sat there and just sat pretty.
That's it.
You and Pretty don't go together.
I had these boys they had work detentions for me in 7th grade. They're like, they have to pick up garbage and work detention. Like, we got the bag full. I was like, well, just sit there and look pretty, boys. That's all you gotta let. I don't care what you have to do for the rest of recess. You just sit there and look pretty. You don't do anything else. That's the point with it. Boys, 7th inning stretch in the books. Variety Sports Network. I feel like me and Edward say this is kind of what we love doing this. It gets my energy going every Thursday night. McGurk, love having you join us for this as always. Jordan, loving your insight with MLB on the show as well. Edwards, of course, The Rock here with me along the way. So for Josh Edwards, for Tyler McGurk, for Jordan, I'm Darren Breyer. We'll see you guys next week for 7th Inning Stretch. Peace.
Peace.